Let's play some hockey. Stars Blues Game 3, series tied at 1. Well, Blues wins have been nail-biting finishes.
History, Jeff. Okay, your game will be the opening game of the Nat Stadium.
Clearly, the Wizards are not the same team that they were in the beginning of this season. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You could see the defending champions here tonight playing a back-and-forth game all night long. And they say that basically he influenced, Muhammad Ali. And he said, listen, would you... A second, but I just... Yes, all right. Look, just trying to fix my mic. Anyway, hey guys, welcome to The Hustle with your girl, Lena 7, right here at WLVS Radio, right across from where I grew up, just down the street. Yes, I'm a 6th O Street Market girl, you know. A lot of people laugh about that, but it's true. I grew up in D.C., went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and then also graduated from Howard University, spent a lot of time right there. So anyway, it feels always good to come back home. Anyway, this is the show where we talk about the blood, sweat, tears, and the results. And then we also get into, a little bit of gossip. A little bit of gossip.
A little bit.
You know that I brought my friends on because it's all about the playoffs right now. I mean,
Yes,
it's so
it is.
funny, right?
Yes, it
It's
is.
so funny. I can't even concentrate on baseball. I'm like, oh my God, the Nets are so bad right now. But I can't even talk about them because this got to be the best series. I think the best first round, the best second round. Second round,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about my daughter's tennis matches, sixth round, that I have ever seen or, really kind of paid attention to. It's just been an incredible series. It's just been fun to watch. So I'm dying to get my two experts' opinions on what's going on with the playoffs. So without further ado, I want to introduce, my friend, my new friend now. Since a few months, my sister who recommended me, and recommended him to me, and I'm so fortunate to have Coach Keith Williams by my side. I can always count on him, can always call him, say, Keith, I want to do a nice playoff show, and he comes through with flying colors. So I just want to say hello. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
I love having you because you always have some good stories, and we're gonna totally get your opinion about something. But we'll get to that. Anyway, and I also met somebody new, recommended by Keith. I have not met Darren McClinton, but it's very nice to meet you. I said some things that, was online. And I just want to say that this guy has played professionally all over the country. All over the world.
All over the world.
All over the world. So I want to give him his due and his honor. Whether he played in the NBA or not is irrelevant. It's just more relevant to know that he has a lot of professional experience, and we'll get into all of that, and one to be proud of. So nonetheless, we take everybody, because everybody got a story, everybody got a hustle, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears even to get to where he is. So we are proud to have Darren on our show.
Thank you for having me as well.
So we're going to get into it because I don't even want to spend too much time talking a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay? So I want to talk about what's going on with the playoffs because I have some bets out there.
As we all do. As we all do.
Well, mine ain't costing me any money. Just some ego, though.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, okay, so let's just get into it. First of all, we got to talk about, obviously, Golden State Warriors. They win everything, Keith, and you know how I feel. I'm a Boogie Cousins girl, but I'm just not that crazy about Golden State because I just got some issues with some things about Golden State. But what do you think, what's going on with Golden State? Should we be concerned about Golden State? Can the Rockets finally beat them in a 7-game series?
what's going on with Steph. I know they lost Boogie Cousins. They don't really have a dominant center to me. That's a big problem for them to me, because if you notice the game last night, they tore them up at the boards. So I'm just saying. So what's your opinion? Let me hear what you got to say. Then I'll give mine. Then I'm gonna check out
I need
what
to
you
hear
gotta
this.
say
I need to hear
now.
this.
Yeah. So we want to hear this. Keith. Inquiring minds want to know. Go ahead.
Well, I think with a team like Golden State's won so much, I think it's a lot of complacency. And they're used to winning. I think they get tired of the rigmarole. They really want to get to the finals.
Okay. Okay.
And I think, as a whole, the NBA's caught up to the style of play. Everybody's shooting a bunch of threes. Houston last night, I think they made 14 more threes than them. So that big advantage that Golden State had, they don't have anymore. In terms of can Golden State win it? Boogie's my son, so
I know Boogie's your son.
I would love for him to get it, but my gut, if I had to put some money on it, I feel like Houston can get past in 7 games.
You think Houston can get past them? 7 games.
I think they can.
Okay, for those of you right now who are checking me on when I tell you that, did you hear that? Okay, because I know you're watching. Just letting you know. Okay, go ahead, Darren. You up? What you think? Are you a Golden State fan?
I'm a Golden State fan. They play a very exciting brand of basketball.
Okay.
And it's fun to watch.
Okay.
But I want to say this first and foremost.
Okay. Go ahead.
The Milwaukee Bucks will win the championship.
Oh, he said it.
Oh, man.
He said it, y'all.
The Milwaukee
he jumped
Bucks.
the gun. Oh my God, we are supposed to reveal that to the end. But
Why? Now tell us why.
No. I will get to that. I just want to put that out there. First.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that out there first.
Ooh,
Now,
that's a good one.
yeah, this Golden State series. Now, like Keith touched on, Golden State is the best 3-point shooting team in the league, but their style of play and this small ball and spread the court and you take a 3 before you take a layup. Everybody's doing it now, just like he said, and Houston's pretty good at it. They are pretty good at playing that style. They have knockdown shooters in Eric Gordon. I really like Eric Gordon.
Love him.
Oh, my God. Yes. Okay.
Chris Paul has always been a very consistent shooter, and PJ Tucker in that corner, you know, he's making his money in that corner with that knockdown 3, and you know, we all love 3 and D players. So guys are playing their role. They're spreading the court. Capella is at the rim. So CP and James Harden have all the options in the world, and it's hard to guard those guys in space. It's going to be tough for Golden State, and everybody's held court so far. Yep. So Golden State has the home court advantage. It's gonna be who can knock the other team off on their home court that's going to win this one. I'm not so sure, but I think Houston has the formula. If it's going to be done, Houston has the formula.
Houston, okay, because that's really what I want to get into is the formula now, because they went 0 for 27. Remember that last year? Okay, I was writing all that down because I was like, okay, I need to know how did they fare last year, because I know that they lost CP3 and then Harden was like 0 for 27. But they've gotten better as a team. And I feel like Golden State has stayed the same as a team, even though they have probably, to me, one of the best players ever, which is Kevin Durant. I mean, he's just like, it's hard to compete when you have a Kevin Durant. But the problem I see is that Houston tried some things, especially last night, and figured some things out. Figured out who can check Kevin Durant. PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is not that tall, but guess what? He played him so physical. Kevin Durant, by the time he left that game, he was really beat up. He was. And that is the way, and I always kind of said that. Why nobody plays Golden State as physical to me as they should play them? But they never really got the opportunity, I think.
Let's get something clear first.
Go ahead.
Nobody can stop Kevin Durant.
He's contained.
No,
He's contained.
You're right. Contained. Right. You can make it difficult for him. You can
make it
Make him a little bit more normal than he normally
Well,
is.
you can put him in.
You can have an
shots
easy
where-
45 or a tough
tough
45.
He's gonna score. I'm not saying that he's not gonna score, but what I am saying is that he was forced to make very tough shots. He was forced to go deep and penetrate and move and push people out the way. He's throwing balls up and he's falling on his elbows. You know what I'm saying? Did you see that?
I think also,
I mean-
he's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Late in the
He
game,
is.
he was checking hard. So that's tough.
That's tough. He was tired.
Yeah.
He was tired to me.
I'll tell you another thing about this series. I'm looking at the minutes played.
Okay.
Yeah, they playing
The
all
starters are playing heavy minutes. People are playing more minutes than they did in the regular season. A lot of times, Golden State had large leads, so players like McKinney and Quinn
more
Cook,
time.
they got more minutes. And I think the deeper bench are going to be the teams that are going to be successful going down the stretch, because if you're going to play your starters heavy minutes
40 minutes a game.
right, 40 plus minutes a game, that one day in between games is very, very important.
Okay, but who can rely on the fact that Klay Thompson's going to go 1 for 7? That's going to be an X factor too.
Well,
He was 1 for 7 yesterday.
the thing is, when you're a jump shooting team,
It's going to be
there
like
gonna be
that.
some days
It's
like
gonna be
that.
like
There gonna be some days like that, and Keith and I both know we've been shooting jumpers all our life. There's gonna be some
days you can't hit the side of a bomb.
exactly. And but the thing about the Splash Brothers and KD, these guys, this is how they make their money. This is what they do for a living. Kevin Durant, he dunks the basketball and he shoots. But he makes his money with his mid-range jumper
Yes.
and his deep three and spreading the court.
Right.
And we all know Steph and Clay, you
Right.
give them a split second and it's money.
over.
So, you are going to have some days like that. It's just if you're Golden State, you got to weather that storm. They have enough weapons that one or two of the
Right.
big
If
three
one
can
of
be
them is
off
not having
and they can
such a good
still
day.
get it done.
But maybe,
you know
maybe
that-
not against Houston though.
I know.
Maybe not against.
They're gonna need.
Everybody's got to be
They're gonna
solid.
need all the weapons.
Yeah, everybody has to be solid because they've played 11 times, I think, in the playoffs or some number like that. I wrote that down. I saw that as like a stat. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of time to be playing each other. You get a real sense
A good feel.
a good feel for that team after a while. And then it's like, their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities, how they play now. I think they got each other's number. The only problem is, to me, Houston changed up their game yesterday. Harden didn't stay on the outside. You saw him making some threes, but then he started changing up and going in the paint and making layups and he was all over the place. He was tricking them yesterday. It wasn't like you knew he was just going to shoot from the outside. I thought that was very effective.
Harden's a very, very aggressive offensive
Yeah.
player, and he's going to take what the defense gives
He's
him.
hunting
So,
for shots.
yes.
He was. Oh, I love that grind though yesterday. I mean, it was awesome. I don't know. PJ Tucker was huge. I wrote that down, right? Tough shots. Eric Gordon's threes also helped them too. I just think they played so smart. They played better than they played in game 3 than in game 4, even though they won game 3 and 4.
I would
Right?
agree with
Would
that.
you agree with that? That they played.
They collapsed a little bit down the stretch, but it's high level basketball. And
That's high
it
level.
doesn't
Yeah.
take long for a team to knock down a 10-point lead.
So I saw today, some headlines that said that Boogie Cousins is expected to play in the playoff. Is that true?
Well, he is moving. He's in the gym. He's shooting. Light
Really?
sparring with coaches. I think the thing that we got to look at is that he had just gotten back into shape. I'm not sure that Steve Kerr going to reach for him if it's the finals. He hasn't been playing. But he could get him some spot, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, where you go to him.
Maybe as like a decoy?
Nah, go to him in the post.
Let him
people
post up?
Yeah.
Really?
Draw fouls
Wow.
and get into the bonus. And then
Boogie
go
has
back
never
down.
been a decoy, by the way. Never
No.
been a
No, I'm
decoy.
just,
Not at
I'm
all.
not saying it deep, but
He won't
under
allow
the
it.
conditions of his left leg,
Yeah.
I would be a little tentative to even put him in the game unless I just wanted him to take up some space.
I think they
or
need
to
him though.
help.
I think he touched on. I think they
They
need
do.
him
No, they do. They definitely need a center.
because
right
he bring
now
a whole different dimension.
to that
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
He does. He does. Wow. So we could actually, I saw that today. I saw expect to maybe see Boogie Cousins play, and I was shocked by that. I was like, what?
Your
Really?
sources tell you.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. So do you know, does he wants to play,
course,
obviously.
of
He wants to
course.
play. But he doesn't want to do any damage to himself either.
No, but playing will probably help him. When you say damage, what you mean, like financially?
No.
Or physically?
I'm talking about physically with that left leg. I mean, that left leg, obviously he's had to heal from the Achilles.
But I think it's both.
then it's
I
here.
think it's both. I
Okay.
think it helps him in free agency if he steps back on that floor and he plays.
And
If
he-
he doesn't play, I think that's used against him in negotiations.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just kind of explain that, because that's actually a good point to make about the business side of it.
I mean, with
When a guy gets hurt and he's in like a contract year like that, and he's looking for a John Wall payday.
that's a whole nother
No, I'm
conversation.
I'm just playing.
But
when I
really,
said that, but-
when you think about it, when these guys and their agents go into the negotiation room with the teams, what they're looking at is efficiency.
Okay.
They're looking at injury problems, history of injury problems. They want to know if their investment is going to be on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, let's say the last 2 seasons you haven't played a full season.
Right.
And one of those seasons you missed half the games.
Right.
So they look at that, and that can affect how much they invest in you moving forward. So Boogie was coming off an ACL injury, Achilles injury, and then got hurt again with a quad, right?
So-
With a quad. So
Slightly,
Quad muscle.
slightly.
A slight tear in his quad muscle.
right. So and a lot of times one
It's the
injury.
tendon, but
One injury can be a compound from a previous injury because you're favoring it or
And it was
Yes.
the same, and it
Work-
was the same
Same
leg.
leg.
the same leg. You work really hard to get back into playing condition, so you're putting a lot of stress on that already injured leg. So those kind of things, and when it's time to re-up or get your next contract, these are things that they take under consideration. So
really. So do they have those conversations with you, or do they have those conversations with your representatives, or with you as well as your representatives? Do they give you, in those negotiations, do they ever give you like an opportunity to talk on your behalf?
yeah, it's a group effort. Everybody is talking because we want what's best. We want what's best for ourselves and want what's best for the organization. So
Okay.
you have to make an educated move. So yeah, everybody talks it out,
Everybody's
but
talking it
Mhm.
out. Okay. I just have
they don't
often
leave any
wondered
stones
that.
unturned. They do
don't.
not. It's you're talking to the doctors, you're talking to the the medical staff, you're talking to the coaches,
Right.
and you're talking to the representation. It's
Right. So, what do you think of? What have you advised Boogie to do? I mean, just from maybe like a parent would do, because I know you have a very close relationship. You're not his business advisor, but you're there for him. So, without revealing too much to us, because I know you're not, but I'm just saying, what kinds of things have you kind of given him advice on, or in terms of guidance for this year?
I mean, even going backwards, free agency is even a whole different animal because the way it's set up, Golden State can only pay him $7 million next year. So it's not really about Golden State; it's about who's going to set the market.
Right.
And it only takes one team to say they're going to pay him 13, which would be way under. If nobody sets it here, then nobody has to pay
Pay.
over that.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So
Okay.
for him, he's auditioning for the whole league or those that have the money that he's looking for. But in terms of he and I talking, I told him you got to get back on the floor.
You got to get back
You
on
have
the
to.
floor.
You got to show him that you're somewhat healthy. And I think if he's able to win a championship, then obviously he can take a deal with a team that's not as good, but get the money. But for instance, if they lose, he might have to risk taking another short deal with a good team.
Oh, with a good team, because
Yeah.
he's looking for the money, but you also think championship is real important to him.
For sure, because the little time he played, people are already saying like all of a sudden he's this different guy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's a great kid.
Right.
He hates to lose.
Right.
Not taking any shots at LeBron, but we saw how he acted this year when he lost. He wasn't the same LeBron as the
No.
one that was going to the finals every year.
Yeah.
But Boogie's been put in this box, and so that's why he has that perception is out there on him.
I see. Okay. Let me.
And you'll hear this a lot, though. A lot of people say your best ability is your availability.
Is your availability?
Yes.
Ooh.
So you can have all the
good
skills and but if you can't show it and if you're not available on that court,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
it makes it tough to pay you.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes it tough to pay you.
Wow. Wow. No, that's a really good point, because I don't think that we recognize, I think as like fans or people who cover the game, we're not in there. We're not in that room. We're not in the negotiating room. We're not in the doctor's room. So we're just kind of sitting over here, you know, trying to peek and trying to see what's going on. But we don't really know like the pressures that they're under. And we just see these amazing human beings on the floor doing what they do, but, you know, and they do it so naturally that you're like, oh, okay. They just showed up and now they're playing and they get paid. Nobody knows the journey behind that it took to get there.
That's
and
why a lot of the
to stay there.
That's why a lot of the big time players are spending a lot of money in the off season on their body.
Yes.
You know, they're doing the yoga, hiring personal strength coaches,
Right.
chefs, making sure they're putting the right stuff in their body and taking care of their body in the off season. Because, like I said, your strongest ability most
Yeah.
of the time is your availability. So they want to be able to endure that 82 game season
Right.
and injury free. I give a lot of respect to guys that go through their career and are very rarely injured. You know, that means you know, some of it are freak accidents or whatever, but you can't, you know, some things you can't control, you know, stepping the wrong way or stepping on somebody's foot, but you know, just the wear and tear that
turning
a
the
season,
ankle.
or
Yeah,
turning
rolling-
the ankle, or
rolling
an
your
like an
ankle.
Achilles, like happened to Boogie,
Yeah.
and you know, those things you can't. Sometimes you cannot prevent those things, but having your body in tip top condition,
Right.
that's very respectable. That I respect a lot of the big time players that do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that someone who comes to mind is like a Kevin Durant. He's really lasted and been somewhat injury free. I mean, he had he banged his knee with one of it when he was first on the Golden State Warriors, and he was playing here, in fact. And he
But one
collided
thing, though,
knees. He collided knees. I remember when he got injured there, and he was out for a little while. I remember when he first joined Golden State, but that's about the only injury really I've ever heard him.
Yeah, but the one thing about KD's game, and I'm not saying he's totally a finesse guy. He does not bang a lot,
No, he's not
you
looking.
know.
Yeah.
He doesn't take a lot of contact.
No.
Like you said, Houston this series
They're forcing him.
they're forcing him to do that, and you know, but you
I
got
saw
guys
that.
like Dwayne Wade, LeBron, you know, guys that play with a lot of contact. Even James Harden. James Harden, you know,
yeah.
is looking for contact. So those
Yes.
guys, you know, they really, really value those days off when they can, you know, rest up.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, you do. You know, Darren, you do make a good point. You do. That is a very good point, because he is very much a finesse player. He just has that kind of game.
shoots a lot of jumpers. You
But
can't stop
he
it.
does.
No,
you
cannot
can't stop it, though. I mean, the guy can be on one leg, falling,
Yeah.
run hand, and the ball goes in. I'm like, how does he do that? But I mean, he's like remarkable in terms of that finesse shooting. It's just great. He's got great hands. So I take my hat off to him. I'm not saying that I would want him to be injured, but I do like the way that Houston is making him play more physical. I do like that, and I think that if
Part of the scouting report. Yeah.
if Houston has any change, how do you think the Warriors will have to deal with Houston if they do try to play that game again with them, that aggressive game again?
I don't think at this point. I don't think that Golden State can change. It is what it is.
So you don't think that they have any kind of? Do you think that? What if they still contesting Kevin's shots the way they did last night? Come Wednesday, I mean, do you think that they play and PJ Tucker plays as physical as he played? You don't think that they'll have a defense regarding that?
I mean,
Because even Steve Kerr mentioned it. You know that, right?
Yeah, but that's posturing. Houston's got to do what they do to win the game. And if you just look at physical makeup, Chris Paul's a stocky kid.
Guy, right?
Harden's a stocky kid. Gordon's a
They're all
stocky And that's their advantage. They
That's
can
their
beat
advantage.
up under these slimmer guys, and they're really physical. And that bothers. That's especially shooters. We know somebody touching your leg the whole time. Tough.
Wow. What do you think Golden State has to do to defend against playing a more physical?
Well,
Houston
like
Rockets?
he said, Golden State is going to play Golden State's game. Steph Curry's got to step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Steph Curry got to step it up.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll go and say the Splash Brothers, both of them, they have to step it up. KD is doing him.
But KD needs help.
Draymond's been great.
Jerrymon is almost averaging a triple-double for the series. He's bringing the energy, bringing the physicality.
Always.
And I think if Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, both of them.
Did you see him push CP though yesterday?
Well, CP frustrates people.
Yeah, that's what he does.
He's
a gnat.
It was pretty
He's a gnat
funny
out
though when
there.
Draymond walked by him. It just was like,
like
damn, look.
Chris Paul.
I had to laugh on
was,
that
I think he was president of the Players Association.
Yeah, he
and,
was.
You know, he's kind of the face of the players, but a lot of people don't know Chris Paul is a feisty guy, man.
He
You know,
is.
he's
He
borderline
is. I could
dirty.
tell.
yeah, right. You know,
I could tell.
he's got some Patrick Beverly in him. So,
With a smile. That's all.
right. So he can with a smile and a shape up. You know what I'm saying? So he he can get under some player's skin, and that's part of what he does too. That's part of his defensive philosophy. You know, to frustrate, to bother you, and Steph can't let that happen. He had 30, but it was a tough 30, and it was a low shooting percentage 30. And this is the only series that has gone the way it's drawn up to be. Both teams holding home court.
Home court advantage, right?
The Portland series is also 2-2, but each of them won on the other
team's court.
Home court. So I think that's an advantage that you do get one of those two, and then you do get a win on the other team's home court. That shows you that you can win in their building.
Right.
But this Golden State and Houston series is going exactly how it's drawn up. Golden State wins the first two at home. Houston goes to their building and win the next two. And we'll see. It's going to be who can knock you off on the road.
Who's going to win at the
If Houston
Oracle?
wins the next game, series is over, I believe.
In 6.
Maybe not 6, but they'll win.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I think if they win, but I think that's also the case in the Bucks too. I mean, the series is going to be over with too.
Yeah.
The Bucks series. I think it's going to be
Bucks
elimination.
That's done.
That's over.
Yeah,
That's
Bucks
done.
is
over. Speaking of teams that are over, wait a minute. Oh, wait a
Let's
minute.
talk
No.
about that.
I want to talk about.
Let's get in the
sorry.
West. Let's
No.
stay in the
I
West
didn't
first.
mean to say. I know we're going to get into the Bucks. I didn't mean to say them. I meant to say 76ers and the
Okay.
Raptors.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm getting my teams all confused. I meant to say that if 76ers go to Toronto, when they go to Toronto, they play Toronto, right? Tonight.
Yep. Tonight.
Right?
Tonight.
If they beat Toronto in Toronto, is the series over?
No.
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 Because you think that Toronto can come back and win in Philly.
They
This
got
will
the
go
be-
7.
They got the
then.
best player in the series on their side.
The silent assassin with the funny laugh.
Yeah.
He is.
Oh, are you talking about Embiid?
No, I'm talking about Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, with the funny laugh. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Kawhi is the best player in that series.
Yes.
Many people say he's top 2 players in the world.
Right.
And he plays on
His
both
numbers.
ends. He,
Yeah.
39 and 14 last game.
Right. Yep. He's shooting 60% from the
And
field.
that's what
46% from
three.
3.
and that's what I wanted to say about Kawhi. When people talk about his game, they talk about his defense, they talk about his slashing ability, they talk about his mid-range.
Yep.
A few years ago when he was still in San Antonio, he either led or he was second in the league in three-point percentage. And when you think Kawhi, you don't think three-point shooting.
Amazing.
Yeah, he has really
grown.
expanded his game and grown as a basketball player, and he is turning into somebody you can count on to give you the numbers that you need to win a basketball game, night in and night out.
There was another stat that I wrote down just for you guys to hear the stat. The stat is he has made over his career almost 90% of his open shots. He's 87% on open shot percentage.
So he's really focused.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. But the problem with that team is just suppose Kawhi has a bad day. Then I don't see anybody else stepping up. I don't see Van Vliet. I don't see Kyrie.
The knock is Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Does
I
not
don't see
step
any-
up in the playoffs.
He just, it's
Well,
disappointing to
It's a
me
lot of
to
truth to
see.
that. It's a lot of truth to that. The last 2 years, it's a lot of truth to it.
It is.
Yeah.
Even when
The-
DeMar DeRozan
DeRozan
there.
was having big games, and Kyle he Batman needed his Robin, and then Robin didn't show up. So I'm thinking it's becoming mental with him. Like back in the day, I think when Nick Anderson, when he was playing with Orlando with Shaq, he would get to the line and he missed some big free throws, and then it became mental. He would freeze up when he get to the line, and he just couldn't make it. And you know, the media gets to you. A lot of people say, "Yeah, I don't listen to the media," but this and that. But when people are constantly talking about you can't perform in the playoffs, and Toronto is getting to the playoffs every year. It's not, they're one of the best teams in the East
Right.
year in and year out. Kyle Lowry's got to step up, and he's a Philly guy, so Philly fans are brutal, so he should be used to people being on him, but he's just not producing the way an all-star should produce in the big money games.
Yeah, I've seen him time and time again, even at the Wizards. I'm like, good grief. I mean, Kyle Lowry does some amazing stuff during the regular season.
Oh,
and
he's a
then
wizard killer.
He's a killer.
He is wizard killer. Yeah.
He has killed
They need
us.
to play, the Raptors need to play the Wizards every time in the playoffs.
Uniform on him.
Act like
Put a uniform on
Wizards,
Philly, and he'll be good.
he'll be
Man.
all right because he can really ball. He can ball. But the other problem on the other team is that Ben Simmons, what is he? His numbers, 10, 7, and 4?
Sound about right for the playoffs for him.
Right? Sound right? Right?
Got a big
And
hole
then
in this game. So
Jimmy Butler
it's been good.
is,
Okay.
needs to be a little more dynamic though, right? He's been in the league long enough. You would expect him.
You need a healthy Embiid, by the
Yeah.
way. You need a
You
healthy,
need a healthy Embiid.
a healthy Embiid is a
Not
major
an Embiid.
problem.
It's a game changer.
9 hours out
But he's
texting
not.
his
He's
coach
not.
that
And
he's
Right.
It's not going to happen. And he struggled against Paul Gasol. No, nobody's saying that, but he's never played
really?
well ever.
ever against him. Really?
Gasol is
A wily veteran.
Yes.
It ain't gonna move out the way.
He's not gonna move. You gotta move him.
Got to move him.
Yeah. Wow. So who you guys got for that? 2 for 2 right now.
Toronto.
Play tonight.
I got Toronto.
Oh, Toronto.
Here's,
Really?
here's the reason. It was 2-1 Philly. I thought Siakam was not going to play in that last game.
Okay.
And he played, and he wasn't that effective, but his presence.
His presence, though, yeah,
And
it was important.
his presence
Yeah.
made a big difference.
Yep.
On the defensive end. You're never really gonna have an off game on defense. And the fact that he was there and he played good minutes. That I think that was Philly's chance to go up 3-1 and take that series. But now that it's 2-2 and it's going back to Toronto.
Yeah, I think they're going.
Yeah, I think it's over.
Shut it down.
Yeah, I think Toronto's going to win. I don't really see where the 76ers. I mean, the 76ers are not going to win tonight. I just don't, unless Kawhi Leonard has a really, really, really rough night.
I can't see it.
And I can't see that.
looks
Drake
easy.
gonna be in the house. Everybody
looks
gonna be
easy out
there
there.
tonight.
But
Putting a
all
bunch
this
of pressure.
Let's get this out in the open though. All of this right here, this is just the practice till you get to this Greek freak.
Yeah.
All this is whoever wins
God.
this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whoever
no,
over here.
We're gonna talk about the Bucks because I got some stuff to talk about regarding the Celtics. So we're gonna talk about them in a minute. But I just want to tie this up. So you guys think that Toronto's gonna win in Toronto? Then the next game, do you think that the 70 if they come back to Philly?
I think they close it out.
They close it out at 6. You
I
think
think
7?
it's going 7.
You think it's
I
going
think it's going
7?
7.
I
Yeah.
think they close them out.
They gave home court advantage back to Toronto. I think they're gonna be, Philly's gonna be all riled up to
The whole court.
court
think-
in Game 6. I
yeah.
think it's gonna go to 7,
Okay.
but I think Toronto's gonna blow them out in Game 7.
Yeah, I think Toronto will blow them out in Game 7. I think it's going to go 7-2 because I can't see elimination game back in Philly. I just don't see that.
Pressure.
A lot of pressure. But these two teams, they win on the road, so I don't know. But I kind of feel like that series is going to go to 7. And I was wrong. I did another show, and I thought that we're going to move on. I thought Boston was going to take it because I had done the show after Boston won the first game. So,
Oh, Paul Pierce felt that. He said it was over.
it was over.
He said it was over.
Oh, my God. Okay. So let's talk about, I got to go back in my notes because I wrote so much stuff about Boston. I was like, what the heck?
Before we get to the
Okay.
before we get
Okay,
to
go
the
ahead.
Milwaukee Boston
Okay.
series, do y'all want to touch on this Portland Denver series? 'Cause
Oh,
that's
okay.
2-2 also over
That's
the West.
2 for 2. Yeah. Okay. We'll finish up.
'Cause
Then
that
we'll
game is
save.
tonight, too.
We'll save the Celtics since that game is
last.
tonight.
Okay.
We'll say we'll go
Because
to-
it's all leading up to the Greek
Yeah.
Freak. It's all coming to the Greek Freak anyway. So
We'll go. We'll deal with Dame. Dame time right now. What's up with Dame?
Well,
That's 2 for 2 as well.
yeah,
well, he's not playing as well as he did in the last series. It's a totally different series.
Damian Lillard's not playing as well.
Not as well. Not as well.
he set the bar real high
He did.
in the first
He did.
series.
in the first series.
He's
right?
still playing at a high level.
But they're
And his
playing.
running mate playing really well.
But these are two. All right, guys, come on. These are two young, resilient teams.
Mm-hmm.
They had what? 4 overtimes the other night.
Yes, he did.
I think that this series is all about who has the hustle in them to the very last second. Nobody. They're like this. They're playing neck and neck the whole way. And it's hard to read them.
I
It
got a good
is.
question for
and
both
I think
of y'all.
other guys on both teams step up. When one isn't doing well, the other guy steps up. I don't think it's all built around Damian Leonard.
Who's
I
the
mean,
best
Lillard.
player in this series?
Who's the best player in this series?
Best player in the series.
Best player in the series.
Of course, to me, it's between Kevin Durant.
No, this
Oh,
series.
in this series,
Yes,
Dame
yes.
Lillard or
You like to play spades now. You got the big joker. You got the big joker in the middle.
It's
who is
Joker.
the best player on?
I believe it's the
Jamal
Joker.
Murray.
No,
No.
Joker.
Oh, Jokic.
Yes.
Jokic.
I believe.
Jokic.
Jokic.
I believe he's the best player in the
Yes, he
series.
is tough.
Triple double. Walking triple double.
My goodness.
At 7 feet.
Stuff. Did you see him shoot threes?
Yeah, he's talented.
He
Very, very
is
talented.
So talented. I mean, he reminds me of Boogie too, though. He does remind me of Boogie.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He is tough.
I'll
By
tell
the way,
you what.
Boogie kills him every time he put that out there. Boog, you listening?
I'm gonna tell you what about Jokic.
That's funny.
Some of the stuff that he does not surprise me.
Okay.
He's Serbian, and
He's Serbian.
He's Serbian?
Igor,
Yeah, now,
yes.
I
Our engineer.
played about 5 or 6 years of my career over there
In Serbia?
in ex-Yugoslavia. Yes,
wow.
Serbia, Croatia, and Bosnia, and that it's called the Adriatic League.
Okay.
There are so many talented big guys over there that play like guards. So, you know, they come to the NBA, and it surprises a lot of us here in America to see a center that is playing. If you go back, a lot of the old NBA fans, I'm showing my age, but Vlade Divac was a big man, but he ran the floor like a guard. He passed the ball. He was one of the best passing big men. If you want to talk about another Eastern European and
Sabonis.
and
before him.
Sabonis, Arvydas
That's my
Sabonis,
age.
Yes.
right?
Sorry, I'm 50.
But you know these
I remember all of them. But
these bigs. And now in America, we're talking about positionless basketball over
Yes.
here.
yes.
Over there in Eastern Europe and a lot of European countries, they've been playing kind of positionless basketball where, regardless of the height, you know, everybody's learning to handle the basketball. Everybody's learning
Everybody's
passing
skilled.
skills.
Everybody's
Everybody is skilled. You know, so it doesn't really surprise me the way Jokic approaches the game. You know, a lot of Serbians do that.
Yeah.
And but I'm gonna go out and say, even though Jokic may be a first team All NBA center this
Should
year,
be.
Dame Lillard is a reigning first team All NBA guard. So I'm gonna say Jokic is the little joker in this Spade's hand,
Whoa.
and Dame Dollar is the big joker in this hand. In this series. I think
Pretty clutch too.
I'm a little biased because my guy Dave Vanderpool is coaching on that staff. He's the
Oh, he
associate head
is?
coach for Portland Trailblazers. So I'm
Okay.
pulling for them.
Okay.
That's family. I
Yeah.
trained him too.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
did you?
I'm really old.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we all came up training under Keith. So I just think it's so important. Guard play is so important, especially in
Guard's game.
it's a guard's game. And I think the backcourt of Portland is going to prevail, even though Jamal Murray is an incredible player,
Oh my
incredible young
God.
player.
He is so much fun to watch.
And you
I
mentioned
love him. I love his game.
that 4 overtime game that they had in game 3 and turned right back around 2 days later. And
36
played.
hours to be exact.
We had guys playing 65 minutes, 61 minutes, and in 36 hours you're playing again. But these are young guys.
Yeah,
You know,
young.
these are 2 of the youngest
Yes.
teams that are
Yes,
left.
that are
So,
left.
you know, a couple
So who-
Red Bulls and a ibuprofen.
So who's
and we
winning
good.
it? Who's winning? Who's winning it?
I got Portland winning this series.
Oh, you do.
Got Portland.
You have Portland.
In 7.
Even though, but I thought that Denver was. Who
the
won
higher
the
seed.
series? Huh?
Denver's the second seed.
Denver's
Portland's
the
the
higher
third
seed.
seed.
Right, but who won the series in the regular season though? This year was it Denver or was it?
I want to say it was
Portland.
Denver. I want to say it was Denver.
Yeah, I believe
thought
so.
Denver
2-1.
got them. I thought it was 2-1 or 3-1 or
2-1.
something like that. 2-1.
But one
Okay.
thing, Nurkic,
Nurkic.
It's a whole
Nurkic,
different
he went
side.
down with a very, very ugly injury, and the whole season, you know, they had that inside out, and Cantor's been doing a good job in Nurkic's absence, but they're a different team with Nurkic in there and with Nurkic out of there. So now they're really, really relying on that backcourt. So I think if that backcourt can keep playing at a high level, when Dame falls a little bit, CJ
Yeah.
steps it up. You know,
Yes.
so if they're getting 60 between them, that's hard to be. And everybody else plays their role.
McCollum is just tremendous.
And
I mean,
even the
he
other
took
Curry.
over.
The other
He-
Curry, by the
Curry's
way.
been good.
Yeah. Oh, Seth. I
Yeah.
know.
By the
But
way, he shot a high percentage 3 than his brother this year.
Yes, he
I
did.
didn't understand understand though why they didn't have him in the game the other day.
Well, sometimes it's matchups and it's
gotta be the cover.
defensively.
Gotta be the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was shooting like he just had. He was hitting on all cylinders.
They would have
that
picked.
day.
They would have picked him out on the other end, though.
Right.
Late in the
They-
game.
They would have.
It comes down to possession by possession. So you have to, if
your
you do
best
one
foot,
thing,
yeah.
you have to put your best defenders out there because you're gonna do what you do on the offensive end, but it's important. You got to get a stop.
You gotta
have
get
to
a stop too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what it. Maybe that's what it was. Because I couldn't.
I'm gonna go with
understand.
Denver. I'm gonna shake it up.
okay.
I can't pick one with them. I think it's whoever is going to be, whoever wants it the most. To me, with that series, I just think they're so
Really
it's
close.
It's really close.
It is.
It is too. It is almost.
These
they're
are two
close to
evenly
call.
matched teams.
They're
Right.
so evenly matched. It's hard to call. Every time I watch them, I'm like, okay, is somebody gonna fall apart? One team gonna fall? They just don't fall apart. To me, they're so resilient. When they get
Yeah.
down, they come right back. When
And they've got clutch players. Jamal Murray showed
Jamal
everybody how clutch he
Murray.
is down the stretch. Dame Lillard, we all know about Dame time. So it's and the proof is in the four overtime games.
Yeah,
So
right.
nobody wanted to give it
Nobody
up.
wanted to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if nothing else, McCullough is right there. I mean,
Yeah.
CJ is right there to handle business. If Dame can't do much, I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I that's a hard one. I don't know. They both take care of the ball and they both attack. So I don't know.
They all
They're
gotta
really
they
good.
all gotta go see this 6'11" Greek guy.
Let's get to that.
This Serbian, yeah. I mean, oh yes, that's true. That's
The
true.
Greek.
The Greek freak. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the Celtics now. Can I just say this though? The Celtics messed up big time in the beginning of the year, and I believe that they are paying for it now. But I'll let you guys talk. What do you think is Boston's problem? Is it more Kyrie? Is it more Gordon Hayward? Is it more they're not playing team ball enough? What do you guys think it is? What's
think-
the issue?
I think
Something's going on.
they got all of the same players. Everybody that they have is
But
trying
they
to
have-
score. They all trying to score. You got guys that's trying to make money. Jaylen Brown, for one.
Rozier.
And so I think Danny got too much offensive talent. Not enough team guys, role guys that win games. You got to have a P.J. Tucker. You got to have a Capella.
Eric
You
Gordon.
got to have those type guys to win at this level. Everybody can't score. And then Kyrie, I don't want to
He holds
pick on him, but he's folded as the guy. He asked for this, and he's gotten it, and he's folded under pressure.
right. And when you say ask for this, you're talking about the fact that he wanted to be free
wanted
and
to
to
have
have
his
his
own
own
team.
limelight, basically, and to be free of LeBron. And I think now it's almost like he's gotten a really good understanding to what that pressure is like. And when you live by the sword, you're gonna also die by the sword by yourself. If
By
you want,
yourself.
if you want it all. But I also feel that Brad Stevens did a horrible job as a coach. He made some bad coaching errors this year.
Many
And I
people
think-
call him the best coach in the game.
and he's the best, and he's right because he's won, I believe, Coach of the Year as well, right? And I've seen him coach against the Wizards, and I'm like, God, in the last second of a game, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's brilliant. And I saw that like 4 years ago, and I knew then, I was like, wow, he's a really good last minute coach. I mean, he can come together, put together some strategy and beat you. But the problem with this to me is why would you have put Gordon Hayward into this game, into the starting lineup in the beginning of the year when he was just coming off injury, and you have guys who took you to the conference finals the season before?
So, okay, let
There
me
was a
answer
certain
that
flow
question.
and a certain rotation.
Outside of economics. Go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'm getting into. So he was their big free agent signing. And first 2 minutes into his Celtics career, he's gone for the year. He didn't have a chance to earn it or lose it. So he did. He went through all of that rehab and getting back to to play in shape and play in condition, and you have to. That's your investment. You know, you have to start.
Makes 20-something million.
Exactly.
You gotta put him on the floor.
You got to put him on the floor. And if the season goes on and he shows that the lineup needs to be shuffled, then you do that. But you start off with what you invested all that money in. And Boston made a lot of moves. They brought in a lot of talent. Danny Ainge is getting a lot of praise for bringing those pieces in. But what I think they have a problem is, and what I think they have a problem with is leadership and continuity.
Yep.
I think that Al Horford is a very good leader. He's a vet.
Excellent.
He's kind of quiet. You know, he's not very, very vocal and very demonstrative. He plays his role, but Kyrie seems to be the leader, and I'm not sure how good of a job he's been doing with leading those guys. You know, he's a vet, but he's not that old. You know, and he's coming down on these young guys. You know,
and he's the most talented. Like,
he is the most talented.
Leader.
But he's,
right, exactly.
But he has the ball in his hand too long. I was going over some of the Boston match, the Boston game, and I'm going, look at Kyrie. He's dribbling. He throws it out to somebody. Then he gets the ball back. Then he shoots and he misses. And it was like over and over. And I'm going, all of them are cold. I mean, nobody is really getting a touch on the ball like that. No one's really getting an opportunity until, did you see how hard Jason Tatum has to work to get his game started? Just he's had terrible first two games. Then the other night he played better. They still lost. But I'm saying he had to be extremely aggressive just to get the ball. So I think they're not playing.
There's some times when you have played alongside LeBron, and then you can look up and say, you know, I don't have LeBron here no more. You know, and it's on me. This is a different look. It's a little different deal. Yeah. So I think sometimes Kyrie is like, you know, I know I have the ability. Something's not clicking right now. And can I rely on these young guys? Can I rely on? You got to trust. You have to trust.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he's missed, they said 43 shots. Right? He's missed that's in the playoffs. He's missed 43 of his shots in the playoffs. They're like, that's unbelievable bad for Kyrie.
Can we get to the real reason why they losing?
Why? Go ahead.
This 6'11" monster on the other side.
Giannis!
On the other side of the ball. Now,
and I can't pronounce his last name. Don't even ask me. I've been trying to go through like a whole.
Stay with Greek freaks. Stay with Greek freaks.
So people don't realize that Milwaukee is also one of the best defensive teams in the league. They have Malcolm Brogdon, who was a defensive player of the year in the ACC in college. He's a good defender. Bledsoe's a very athletic defender. He's tough player. Giannis is up for defensive player of the year as well as MVP. So, you know, these are tough contested shots that Kyrie and Jaylen Browns and Tatum's are going. You know, they're all shooting lower percentages than they're used to because it's a different level of defense, man. And I just think that's
another team.
Greek Freak is such a matchup problem, and he doesn't rely on jump shots. He scores 18 points a game in the paint. So he's putting pressure on you on the defensive end that you have to foul him or he's going to score.
Yeah. So are you guys, one last question, more impressed by Giannis or more unimpressed with Boston?
I think he's had a good ride up. So I think I'm more surprised that Boston's falling apart like this.
Me too. I'm more surprised.
Giannis is great.
I knew Giannis was going to be good, but I didn't know that Boston was going to be so bad.
Really bad.
I honestly did not.
Now, I'm impressed with Giannis because he's improved so much.
Right.
People said he couldn't do it in the playoffs. And Boston had that defensive game plan in the first game, and he figured it out just that quick.
He figured it out
so
and stepped up, raised their level
But you know
of play.
what? That first series was so easy. He wasn't he wasn't ready that first game, but he got up to speed.
Well, he didn't know what to do with Al Horford, though. I mean, you
Horford-
saw Horford
Horford does that to a lot of
dominated
people.
him.
Hover's a wily vet.
Yeah, Horford dominated him, and then after that, he figured it
He
out.
has
He
figured
worked
it
on
out.
it, and that was all she wrote. We haven't looked back. So, who you guys got with that? Do you think the elimination is coming?
So I got Milwaukee winning 4-1. Then I got Milwaukee beating Toronto in 5 games or less.
I was gonna ask you that. Wait, you got Milwaukee beating Toronto? How
In
many games?
5 games or less.
I'm gonna go 6 games.
Milwaukee will not play 6 games until they get to the finals.
6 games. I'm going 6 games.
And then they'll win the finals in 6 games or less.
Against who?
Houston, but I'm picking Houston.
Golden State.
Golden State.
Golden State.
You think they can beat? You think Milwaukee can beat Golden State?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes.
Can they defend them from the perimeter? If you
Yes,
got
they
the
can.
splash
And
brothers
Giannis
playing?
is
really?
and remember I told you about all these heavy minutes that the starters are playing?
Yeah.
Giannis puts your team in foul trouble immediately.
Immediately.
He's downhill. He's putting pressure on you.
Wow.
That's my pick. You heard it here.
All right. So you got the Bucks going all the way,
All the way.
winning the championship. Ooh, it's gonna be
So
interesting.
let's go
ahead.
back. Houston, Golden State. Who you picking?
Golden State,
Denver, Portland.
Portland.
Golden State.
So
Portland.
Golden State, Portland in the Western Conference Finals. Bucks, Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals. Golden State.
No. Houston.
Yeah,
No, he.
no. Golden
you got
State.
set.
Yeah, he picked.
Oh.
Golden State will beat Portland in a close series
Oh, you think so?
in the Western
Okay.
Conference Finals. The Bucks will beat Toronto in
You said
5
5.
games
5
or
games.
less.
Oh,
Yes,
my
5
Lord.
games
I
or
didn't
less,
see that.
and then the Bucks are gonna win it all.
So I'm picking Houston and the
Yeah.
Bucks, and I'll
Okay.
take Houston over 'em. With Giannis winning.
So you got
MVP,
Houston. You
I'd
have
take
Houston and
Houston
Denver.
winning.
winning MVP,
Giannis will
Yes.
win MVP.
and
But
Houston winning the
Harden
championship.
winning.
Houston winning it all.
Winning it all. So we're
You heard it
definitely
here first.
all right. We're coming back then at the championship. We're gonna come back and see if these 2 predictions. So you guys got to come back. Okay?
Absolutely. Please have me back.
All right. So we're coming back after the championship. After we find out who wins the championship. So we'll see who, if any of their predictions will be right. Anyway, it's your girl Lena 7. I gotta go because We the Shit is coming up. Anyway. Don't forget, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. right here at WLVS Radio. And next week, it's all about the boxers because, I come from a boxer. So, I got to give my boxers some love. Next week, yes, join me. We're going to have a whole bunch of fun because we got Diamonds in the Rough Jim here. And we got some boxing journalists going to come out and hang out with me, Gary and all them. So I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Bye later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.